Stonedead TV, Stonedead 2021, exciting as it is, we've managed to get the gaffer for a couple of minutes, Meynell here, who was actually threw a bottle of water over me earlier on because it was that hot, the sun was shining out there.
I just try to do my bit.
Well, we have to, don't we? This is the thing, this is all about the rock and roll. What can we say about the last 12 months that's not already been said or documented firmly on social media? This has been an absolute a labour of love in every sense to get to this point this weekend for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, we thought we got it sussed out by because we were ready to rock and roll last year. So we thought this year it'd just be absolutely piss easy. You know, we thought this is it. You know, we've got everything set. We're ready to go in 2020. And then it got cancelled, so we thought we'll just have to fine-tune it until next year. But it's been an absolute nightmare for loads of different reasons, with the COVID getting thrown in there and the suppliers not being able to supply the right thing, and people going off on, not being able to get the right manpower involved. So I think the whole thing has been a lot more complicated than what we thought it was going to be. We thought we were just going to walk through it, and obviously there's a small matter of our headliner pulling out 5 days before we started. And then one of the bill pulling out, the night before. So it's been an interesting 12 months. Like everybody's life has been interesting for the last 12 months. It's just been complex, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And of course, we've done. This is technically day 2, but it's still very much about the one day, one show ethos of this. And I think it's interesting to point out that the Friday was there as a thank you to the fans for, sticking with us, rolling the tickets over, the continued support. It's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic, yeah. And a lot of people have said to us it was virtually like a 2-day festival, but that's not the idea. The idea is still to have the ethos of the old Donington, one day, one stage, where you're just concentrating on that day. And there's a few of us have little conversations about it when we're in the meetings, because I'm still one. In the old days of Donington, I used to love turning up on the Friday night when there was no stage or no bands, having the crack in the campsite, getting a fire going, having a drink, whizzing around the campsite like Mad Max. And that was good to see all your mates and you meet other people. And then the following day, the first band that came on stage on Saturday morning, as soon as you hear that live music, it was brilliant, because it was the first thing that had happened. Once you hear it so many times, Donington's Download's a fabulous festival. It's absolutely fantastic. But by the 4th day, you've been constantly hit with live music all day. And as fantastic as that is, sometimes you get too much of a good thing. So I think the little gaps between the bands are brilliant. You can go and get a beer, you go and talk to some friends, it goes a bit quieter, and then you're waiting for the next one. You see the roadies set up the stage, and you can see the glimpses of Mike Gray just having a little twiddle in the background. Whereas at the big festivals now, all you're doing is looking at your watch and saying, I'm going to miss the last 3 songs.
I've got to go to another stage.
I've got to get to that stage, and you rush there and you don't get the intro, so you don't get the liveliness. So I still love the ethos of just having one stage and it being all about the music.
And do you think when you first started putting this idea together of this festival, did you ever think it would kind of escalate quite so much in this short time? And what do you think, if you could pin it down to a few things, what do you think has been the success story of Stonedead so far?
We could say COVID, couldn't we? For a start, we could say because the major ones have been cancelled, everybody looked at the smaller one because they thought it was going to go ahead. But I think that would be giving us a disservice. I think what I've talked to people out there is the way that people they love the ethos of it. They love that it's always friendly. They love that it's that classic rock type of atmosphere that you don't get in this days of having multi-bands and multi-genres at festivals. You'll get different cultures all meeting, whereas it used to be classic rock was always about the heavy metal in the early 80s when I was a kid, and everybody used to just love it and get on with each other, and it was like your own little tribe and that. So that's nice, and a lot of these people are my age are the ones that they experienced that early 80s metalhead, which was an awesome thing to be a metalhead in the early 80s. It was part of a proper culture. These days you do all kinds of things. Good.
Very, very exciting stuff. And can we talk about the next one maybe, perhaps? There are a few things in the pipeline. Obviously we can't reveal all the big secrets, because then it wouldn't be a secret or a surprise for the fans. But I'm guessing already the plans are in motion for next year.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, looking at this, I'll tell you what did take me by surprise this year was how many people in the camper van site. We were only up to 1,000 or so this year, but it was absolutely bedlam on that Friday afternoon when everyone was coming in, because we're not putting no restrictions on things, so people can have a 4-man tent and a gazebo and a car and all that kind of stuff around the tent. So that area they're taking up is massive. So it really took me by surprise that with the car park filled up. So already we're looking at camper vans at a different part of the area to enable the tents to be at one side. So logistically we can get maybe 5,000 in, and if we regularly get 5,000, we don't want to go any bigger than that because we don't want it to lose its family tie. But if we get 5,000 in, then we'll be all right for things that we struggle with sometimes, like how many portaloos we have to work out how many portaloos we can buy and whether we're going to do this or whether we're going to do that. If we get 5,000, then we'll have the money to do that, and then we can make things even more comfortable, because the money gets ploughed back into the festival. No one makes any money from it, so it's a good thing. So more people come, the better bands we'll be able to get, and the more comfortable we'll be able to make people feel.
And today, of course, you had the pleasure of introducing Mike Gray on stage. Was that kind of like a bucket list moment for you?
It was pretty incredible, because I've been a fan of Skin and Mike's music for years and years, and we've chatted a few times online over the last couple of years, and we've got on really well. So it was, and you know, he offered me the chance to introduce him on stage, which I jumped at because it was just a massive honour. So to stand up there and to introduce someone who I've got a huge respect for as a person and as a musician was a massive bonus for me. I really enjoyed doing that. So,
it was a real boy's own moment, wasn't it?
It was, and I've got a lovely picture. One of your guys took a lovely picture of me on stage as well. So
there you go. Yeah. Well, Neil, thank you very much for joining us. I know you're a very busy man. He walks around all day long with his radio and from space to space, getting many steps in, no doubt. Indeed. Fighting fit. Yeah. Thank you very much, Neil, for your time.
It's a pleasure, my friend.
Cheers, thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.